Is it possible to do a full face of makeup for under $20? It is if you've shopped Miss A, and I did, so come along and let's see what I got. I placed an order at Shopmissa on Black Friday, and normally everything at Shopmissa is $1. On Black Friday they were 30% off, so almost everything that I got was like 70 cents. It's very affordable. First of all, I'm going to go through and put a full face of makeup on, and then I'm going to show you the products that I got that I'm not actually putting on my face right now. So the first thing I'm going to put on is this AOA Honey Lip Balm. I always like to use a lip balm when I'm doing my makeup so that my lips are hydrated by the time I'm ready for a lip product. Now, the one thing I did not get is a face primer, and so I'm just not going to use one today. I have on the My Shell sunscreen that I just reviewed recently, and I'll link that video in the description box down below if you want to check it out. And it actually works pretty well for a primer. It's very blurring and mattifying, and so I'm going to just use that for my primer today. I actually have two of the Shopmissa foundations. This one is the Buildable Satin Foundation, and this one is the Pro Wear Full Cover Foundation. Neither color is exactly right. This one looks like it would be, but when I actually swatch it, you can see it's a little bit light and maybe just a little bit yellow. This one is also a little bit even lighter still. So I'm going to mix them and see if I can get somewhat close with that. I'm just going to wipe that off. I would recommend, since the foundations are so inexpensive, that you perhaps get a couple of shades so that if the color isn't right, then maybe you can mix and make it work. So the satin foundation comes with a dropper, and it's fairly liquid, and the full cover foundation comes in a little squeezy bottle, and it's much thicker. So I have put a little bit of both of them on my palette, and I'm just going to mix them together and dab that around my face. Now, these products I have not been using because I wanted to use them on camera. So I will update on how they wear by pinning a comment down below. I did get the Paw Paw sponge, and I am probably one of the only people on the planet who doesn't really like this sponge. It's a little softer than I prefer in a makeup sponge. It's almost like a marshmallow, and I find that I have trouble getting enough resistance with it to blend the makeup the way I would like. So I'm going to just pat that in. I picked up just a little bit more on the sponge. It's a little bit dry. So I would recommend doing one section of your face before putting it everywhere like I did. It would probably blend a little easier that way. But this is doing fine. Okay, that didn't do bad. I do have a little bit of dryness around my mouth recently, and so far it doesn't look like it's emphasizing that. I'm going to pick up just a tiny little bit more and put it here on my cheeks, where I have a little bit of discoloration. Okay. I also have the AOA Studio Liquid Concealer. It has a little squeezy tube, which I really like this kind of a delivery system because you can get just a little bit to come out like that. And I'm going to just pat it between my fingers and dab it on. Oh, it's a little bit light. And then I am going to use the sponge and I'm going to pinch it so that I get a better point and use that to blend in that concealer. So far that looks pretty good. It's very smooth, and so I'm going to let it set there. We'll see if it does any creasing while I work on my face products a little bit. I did pick up the Soft Base Eye Primer, so I'm going to go ahead and put that on my eyes and let that set for a bit while I, ooh, that's a lot. So always have a tissue handy. It does have color, so I'm hoping that it will neutralize any lines and redness and discoloration on my eyelids. And also hoping that it will make the eyeshadow last without any creasing. So we'll see how that works. If you've watched any of my other eye videos, you know that my favorite eye primer is the e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer in Rose. So a primer is going to have to be really, really good to dethrone the e.l.f. one. I think I'm going to go ahead and do my brows right now, and this is the AOA Slim Brow in the color Caramel. Yeeks. And it does have a spoolie, so that's great. And I will just brush my brows down and then up. I like to go down first because it kind of detangles them, gets them all going in the right direction. And then it is a tiny little micro brow. And let's see what the color's like. It might be a little warm, but my hair has a little more red in it right now, so it should be okay. But if you want an ash blonde or something like that, this is not the color. It definitely has some red tone to it. It goes on well. It's very smooth. Creamy. Now let's do some bronzing. I got the Sun Glow Shimmer Bronzer, and it has a pretty swirl in it. I'll go ahead and swatch that for you. Ooh, so it might be a little dark. So I'm going to go in a little easy with it. I went in kind of hard on the swatch, but I'll go in a little easier. It does also look to be a little bit warm, so I don't want to go in too heavy with it. I'm just going to tap and then tap off the extra and spread that out. I think that there's just one color of this because it doesn't have a color specified on the label. Go ahead and use it along my jawline like I do. But yes, you definitely, if you are fairer skinned, this would be great if you have deeper skin, I think, but if you are fairer skinned, go in easy or you will easily get way too much. I have a question for you. I started this video with no makeup on and just got right into it. Do you prefer to see the look that's going to be done first and then go back in time to see it done? Or do you prefer to wait until the end and see the look as it's finished? Let me know because I'm really curious. I know that some people like to get right into the meat of the video right away and other people like a more general introduction, so just let me know. Alright, for blush I have the Lumi Radiant Blush and the color is Rose Dawn and it's a baked formula, has this pretty swirl in it, so we're going to try that. I also got another blush and it's this Malibu Glitz in Champagne and it's really not a blush, but I almost wonder if it would be a really pretty radiant setting powder and I might try to use it that way. So this blush is just a pretty pink and it does have some shimmer in it. Oh boy. So let's put that on and see what that looks like. Again, very pigmented. And definitely has some glow to it. So I'm going to go into my sponge and do some blending there. I'm honestly not real sure what I think about this brow color. I think it's way too warm for me, but I'm going to leave it. I'm not gonna mess with it. Then I got the Halo highlighter, and it's very much like the blush with the baked formula and the swirls. So let me see. Let me put it right here. It's just kind of a white, icy kind of highlighter. And I don't see any glitter particles in it. It is just a very smooth highlighter. So let's see how this looks on my cheeks. And I'm just going to tap in there and put that right on the top of my cheekbones. And I like to go in with my finger after I apply a highlighter and blend it, because I think it melds better with the skin, and then it kind of fills in and doesn't show that texture quite as much. So now I'm going to set my face with the AOA Studio Perfect setting powder, and the color is Soft Light. So it has a little sifter and there's already some out on it. So I'm going to take just a blending brush and what's in the lid onto my brush. And I want to check and see if I have any creasing of that concealer. So not too bad, actually. I'm just going to pat it out just a little bit, and then a little bit of powder under there. I'm actually quite impressed with how little creasing there was. Okay, and then I will take a bigger powder brush and pick up a little bit more, tap off the extra, and then I'm just going to kind of dab it, because I have a lot on my brush right now, but I'm going to dab it around. And it's very finely milled. It's a very soft powder. I do really like it. We'll see how well the makeup lasts. And like I said, I will update you in the description box. And that helped also to tone down the kind of boldness of that blush and bronzer. I am noticing that it's looking a little more dry around my mouth. If I come in a little bit, I don't know if you can see, there's a few little skin flakes there, and it is kind of emphasizing that a little bit, but I am extremely dry there right now, so just take that for what it's worth. Then, believe it or not, this eyeshadow palette, 9 pans, was $1. Now, I don't know how they do it, I really don't, but it is really pretty. This is the Amuse Pro Artist palette in the dark version. So I'm going to take a fluffy brush, and I think I'll start, this is the lightest color in the palette, so I think I'll start with that in my crease. There aren't any shade names, by the way. And as usual, I will do one eye on camera and then do the other eye, but edit that out. So I'm just going to tap and dab and get that color where I want it, and then start with some circles, squiggles to blend. And it's going on very easily, blending well. And I forgot to check on this side, but I'm going to look and see if I have any creasing of that primer. And I actually do have some creasing, so I should have tapped that out on this eye. So do make sure to check that your eyeshadow primer is not creased before you put your eyeshadow on, otherwise you will just set in those creases. So I'm going to deepen this up now with this little kind of rustier tone. I have those colors in my shirt, so I'm going to pick up that, and I'm going to put that more deeply in the crease. I'm just going to like pat and dab to get that where I want it without going too high. And then I will bring it across, but deeper in the crease. And kind of on the outer third of the eye and into the outer V. That's pretty. And now I'm going to take the flat shader brush that's on the other end of this. I believe this came in a Profusion palette one time. Anyway, it has a little flat shader on the other side. And I'm going to go into this deepest burgundy right here, because I'm just going to deepen up that outer V. And let's go a little dramatic. I bought lashes, so why not? Let's make it dramatic. And this, I'm just going to pat in the shape that I want it, in this outer V. And then I'm going to flip the brush over and use the other side to blend. And then I'm going to take a clean, fluffy brush, and I'm just going to blend everything together, because it seems like it needs to blend a little more. Don't be afraid to go back and pick up a brush that you've already done. Maybe you think you need a little bit more of the initial color showing and you covered it up, or maybe you need to blend more or whatever, but just go back and forth until you have the look you want. Now I have a couple of options for shimmers, and I guess I should have swatched this palette for you before, but let's do that now because I don't know what shimmer I want to use. Let me get them on my fingers here. There are 3 shimmers in this palette. There's this brown, a gold, and then kind of a berry toned, and I think I'm going to go with the berry toned on this one. And since we're playing in shimmers, I'll go ahead and give you a couple of the mattes as well. I'm going to show you the mattes that I did not use. And so one of them was this orange color. Then there was a mauve. And finally the black. And they actually swatch really well. But even more important, they apply to the eye really well. So I'm going to go into the berry color here with my ring finger and just pat that on the eye. Those are very creamy and apply very well. I am actually going to then take the gold and I'm going to put that right in the center of the lid for a little bit of a highlight because it's a lot of red. So I think that tones it down just a little bit. And this is an AOA crease brush, and I have been wanting a small pencil brush for a really long time, and this is a really nice brush. I've used this before. Some things I kept to show you on camera, and some things I was like, I just want to use this. So I'm going to go into that burgundy color and just with the tip of it and go right under the eye to connect the outer corner with the under eye. And as I'm looking in my mirror a little closer, I do notice that I have some fallout, so I'm going to just brush that away. It might be something to keep in mind that if you do get this palette, you might want to do your eyes first. And I'm actually going to go in just a little bit of the black and put that right at the outer corner for even more drama. These shadows are really good. So I also picked up a gel pencil liner and a liner pen in black, and this has a really nice fine tip. So let's see what we can get in a line here. Yeah, that's really nice. And I don't see any bleeding or feathering. And the pencil is a sharpening pencil, and when I was looking at it, I didn't get the cap put on all the way, and so when it was in the bag, it broke. So I'm going to sharpen it. Okay, it sharpens easily, so that's nice. So I'm going to use this to tightline, and I'll be right back. Okay, it was a really nice consistency. It transferred well to the waterline, but it wasn't too soft. You know, sometimes it just kind of feels like it goes everywhere. And bonus points, it did not get on my contacts. So we'll give it just a minute or two and we'll see if it transfers to the lower waterline. And so while we're waiting to see if it does that, I will use the liner pen and line the lash line. See if I can scooch in a little so you can see what I'm doing. Yes, this is really nice and super easy to get a nice thin line. I don't like doing a thick line on my lash line because I don't have a lot of lid space anyway with my hooded eyes. And if you have a thick line, then it takes up all that lid space. So this is really easy to get a very thin line. And I don't do a winged liner. I just have not had any luck with that. But I would imagine that if you did, this would give you a really nice fine point on your winged liner. So I am seeing some transfer from the upper waterline to the lower line, and I do not like it when an eyeliner does that. So let me see if I can clean that up. I'll be right back. All right, I was able to use a Q-tip and clean that up, but I don't like having dark liner in my lower lash line because I think it closes down my eyes. A lot of times I will put a brighter eyeliner in my lower lash line, but I do not want the black, and I definitely do not want a black liner to transfer from the upper to the lower. So I'll either have to remember to keep my eyes open and not blink so much when I use that one, or I just may not be using that one, I don't know. I do want to use an inner corner highlight, and I'm just going to go back to the highlight that I used because there isn't a lighter color in the palette, and I'm going to put that on this tiny little brush and highlight the inner corner with that to give some brightness there. Oh, yeah, that's perfect. I like that a lot. I am ready to curl my eyelashes. I'll be right back. For mascara, I have the She Makeup Abracadabra mascara in black, and we're going to use that today. Now, I did buy this mascara tool device that you're supposed to be able to not make a mess with your mascara, and I tried it. You can see there's black on there, and I wasn't very successful, but I'm going to try it again. It has like a mascara comb, lash comb on one side. You can comb your lashes, which is kind of cool. So this has a slightly curved wand there, and I feel like I have a lot of things in my hand, so let me set something down. And the lower one, I guess, is this one, and then the upper one, it looks like you do this. Okay, I don't think I'm coordinated enough for this. So it just doesn't seem like I'm getting anything on my lashes. Okay, I'm gonna just use the wand. It's a really dry formula, and I don't feel like it's really depositing the mascara very well. I'm going to use it on both top and bottom lashes. I may end up with a mess. I don't know. I don't know how well it will last, or if it will flake or smudge or whatever, but we'll see. I'm going to see if I can get a little bit more on the wand for the next eye. Alright, let's see if coat number 2 is any better. Okay, I think we're starting to get there. So in one sense, a dry formula is nice because you're less likely to get it everywhere, but it also then takes a little bit longer to build it up, and it's likely to dry out more quickly, and so therefore not last as long. However, mascaras are supposed to be replaced every 3 months anyway, and I don't know about you, but I'm not really very good about doing that. Maybe it forces you to stick to that 3 months, who knows. Okay, I think I got there eventually. It did take about 3 coats, and it feels a little bit clumpy, but we'll see how it wears. It's probably not going to dethrone my Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect. I just don't know about that one. Just FYI, this that I put on my hand, the liquid liner, is not coming off. I just tried to wipe it with a tissue and it didn't budge, so that's good news. I also got these Cara Beauty eyelashes, and I've already trimmed them. They were long, so I had to trim them. It says 100% human hair. I guess I didn't need to worry as much about mascara since I'm going to be putting the lashes on, but I really did want to see what that mascara would do, so I'll be right back. Okay, those are pretty. Wow, talk about drama. They actually went on really easily. They have a clear band, and so you don't see that, and I kind of really like them. Probably not something I would wear day to day, but boy, for the stage they would be perfect. I also got the A+ setting spray, so let's check out the mister on that guy. Well, that's disappointing. So I guess I won't try the Shopmissa setting spray because the pump doesn't work. So in that case, I'm just going to fall back on my old fave, the e.l.f. Stay All Night Microfine Setting Mist, and shake it up. And we'll just use that one. Then I am going to use this blush that I showed you at the beginning. It's so pretty with that rose embossed on there. And I'm just going to swirl in there and use this as a setting powder because it's really finely milled, and I think it might give a nice kind of radiance, maybe. Kind of blurred a little, just so I can say that I use the products. And finally, let's go on to lips. I have several lip products that I bought, and I've used some of them already, but not the ones I'm going to use today. Actually, this is an LA Colors lip liner. The Amuse and Shopmissa lip liners were all sold out by the time that I was purchasing these, and so I got this LA Colors one, and it's a really pretty kind of a Barbie pink. But for spring and summer, it's just so pretty, but it's not so bright that it's not wearable. Does that make sense? And I wear it with this AOA Velvet Lips liquid lipstick. I am going to do this first and then hold it up to you. And it does last very well. It's very comfortable to wear. And then I have the Diamond Lip Gloss in Posh. And this trio, this combination is just really pretty. If you're doing kind of a pink look, I really like that. I wanted to try several of their formulas, that's why I have so many. And I have this AOA Studio, just a regular bullet lipstick in Bikini. I have not used this one either. It is a little bit pinker, but almost a purpley pink. So that's pretty. What I'm going to use today, however, is this AOA bullet lipstick in Lover. And it's kind of a peachy brown. I don't have a lip liner that goes with this one, so I'm just going to put it on. It has kind of a chemical smell. I'm not really sure that I'm fond of it, and it's almost balmy feeling. It's kind of nice. I like it. I'm not going to use this one today either. This is the AOA Wonder Matte liquid lipstick. I'm not going to use that today because I'm kind of happy with the way it looks right now. And this is a little probably darker than I want to use. I'll put it here. It's a bit of an orangey red, but it's pretty. So I changed my mind. I am going to put it on. And we're going to see if I can do this without a lip liner. Ooh, that's pretty. So I've taken my bangs down and cleaned up the swatches, and that liquid lip on the back of my hand did not want to come off easily. I think it's completely dried down at this point, so I'm going to see if it's transfer proof. It did transfer a little, but not very much. I think if I'd let it dry just a little bit longer that I wouldn't have even had that. So that's my full face of Shopmissa, and I think it turned out really nice. I will use these products again. I think I need to use each of the foundations separately so that I can see how they perform. I think this full cover one might be a little bit more coverage than I've come to like. I do tend to prefer a medium coverage to even sometimes light, but I think that this satin one would probably be just right up my alley. I just don't know about the colors. So I'm going to try this by itself and see how it goes, but I really like both of them. I think that they're for $1, my goodness, they are good foundations. And the dryness that I was seeing earlier does kind of seem to have subsided. Sometimes when a foundation sits on your skin for a little while, it will kind of meld with your own natural oils, and some of those things that you see initially kind of go away. So now let's finish up by talking about the products that I got that I haven't used on my face. One of them is the AOA Velour Highlighter in Crazy, and this is a very moussey texture. Oh, look at that. It's so pretty. It's a pink shift highlighter, but it's very smooth. So I got a couple of brightening sheet masks. The first one is a cucumber brightening mask, and then the brightening arbutin mask, and finally the pearl mask sheet, which says that it smooths, brightens, and rejuvenates. So I have several masks that I can use. And to go with that, I got their silicone facial mask cover that helps you keep your mask on your face. It's just a really soft, kind of stretchy silicone, has loops that go over your ears, and when you put your sheet mask on, then you put this over the top of it and it helps hold it on your face so you don't have to keep pressing it back where it belongs. So I'm going to try that with one of my sheet masks. And I think the last thing I got was just a spray bottle. I like putting my toners on by spraying them on. This one I put the Ordinary Glycolic 7% in here, and so when I use my niacinamide brightening toner from Good Molecules, I have that in a spray bottle, and then I put this on as well, and I just then use my hands to kind of mush them together. But that way I don't have to use cotton pads, and I don't waste a lot of it on the cotton pad, and I don't spill it trying to put it into my hands. So spraying on my toners is the way I like to do it. So I think that's that. I will put the grand total of the products that I put on my face down in the description box below and also on the screen somewhere. And I can't believe that this look that I have here was less than $20, but I really like it. I hope you do too, and I hope you enjoyed this video. So if you're still snowed in from the latest winter storm and you have a little time on your hands and want to check out some more of my videos, take a look at that playlist, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching.